Hello there. Thank you so much for joining us. This is News Channel Nebraska. My name's Eric McKay. Let's take a look at our top headlines today. We expected a legal saga involving a central Nebraska man and his local police force to come to a close Thursday. But Michael Shively tells us why it didn't and what's next.
A Kearney man accused of threatening a police lieutenant and stalking the city's police chief is back behind bars. District Court Judge Patrick Lee heard arguments from the state and from the attorney representing 59-year-old Marcus Ditchman during a sentencing hearing on Thursday, but he didn't hand down a sentence. Instead, Lee described the pre-sentence report he received as one of the most bizarre he's ever read. He said he needs to see more materials and added testing in order to issue a sentence. As a result, Lee committed Ditchman to the Department of Corrections for 90 days to undergo a complete study. The case dates back to May of 2023. Ditchman identified himself as a cop watcher at the time and operated a social media page where he would film police and share his thoughts on law enforcement. One night at the police station, he had a heated encounter with Lieutenant Jason Cotters that Ditchman live-streamed on Facebook. At one point, he counted up to 5 and then said, "I swear to God, I'll let these dogs go and they will munch the expletive out of you." That comment, combined with previous claims that Ditchman trained his dogs to attack, led police to arrest Ditchman for terroristic threats. In October, he made a plea deal with the state, which lowered the terroristic threats charge to third-degree assault. The state pledged to recommend a sentence of 18 months probation with a condition to include no internet use or social media presence. The state also suggested a psychological evaluation if the probation officer deemed it appropriate. That evaluation never happened, contributing to the judge's decision. Ditchman is also involved in a different case. In that one, he's convicted of a misdemeanor stalking offense involving Police Chief Brian Waugh. That case was also set for sentencing on Thursday. The court continued it in light of the decision in the threats case. Now both cases are set for sentencing on February 28th. In Kearney, Michael Shively, News Channel, Nebraska.
A major piece of the nation's economic puzzle is out Friday. The Commerce Department releasing its personal consumption expenditures price index. That's the Federal Reserve's favorite inflation gauge and could foreshadow potential future rate cuts. John Lawrence has more.
Economically speaking, the U.S. appears to be ending 2024 on a relatively strong note.
The economy is strong overall and has made significant progress toward our goals over the past 2 years.
That was especially so this summer when, according to the Commerce Department, the gross domestic product rose at a yearly rate of 3.1% during the third quarter. That's up from the previous estimate of 2.8%. Analysts say the Federal Reserve's rate cuts since September played a factor.
Cumulatively, the Fed has now reduced benchmark interest rates by a full percentage point. So the cumulative impact is starting to build a little bit.
Although inflation has slowed down dramatically from the first third of the year, it's recently remained static.
We can talk until we're blue in the face about how inflation has come down from 9% to now below 3%. But the fact is, prices are still going up. They're going up the most on necessities that households buy. And your income may not have been able to keep up with that or may not have caught up to it yet.
Fed officials predict inflation will finally fall to its preferred 2% mark in 2027. John Lawrence, News Channel, Nebraska.
To Capitol Hill, where all 3 of Nebraska's U.S. representatives were yes votes on the failed continuing funding resolution that's now brought the nation to the brink of a government shutdown. U.S. Representative Don Bacon said in an interview after the vote he thought it was a reasonably good deal. Bacon said to him the problem is unelected officials with heavy influence on the Republican Party, who he says ran wild with misinformation in the hours leading up to the vote.
Our salary is $174,000, but they put out we're going to get $240,000. That wasn't true. That we were going to prevent any kind of investigations on those who served on the J6 committee. That is not in the bill. I could go on. And people run away from that. I'm sort of used to it. I've been a target of a lot of these same people. So Elon Musk took some of this false data and put that back out there. If you're on the same side and you don't like what you're hearing, pick up the telephone and call your friend, your ally. Why tweet and throw your ally under the bus?
38 Republicans voted no, joining all but 2 Democrats. House Speaker Mike Johnson told reporters he expects more votes Friday, saying, quote, "We have a plan," end quote. Huge news for the city of Columbus, a Fortune 500 company settling there. Andrew Pfeiffer has more.
Amazon is bringing a new distribution center to the city of Columbus.
It's going to speed up the delivery of Amazon packages from the business directly to your homes.
Officials announced on Thursday that construction for the new facility has already begun.
So we've been working with Amazon here for probably about 8 months to set up this facility and get this land sold.
Sitting on nearly 10.4 acres of land, as well as standing at nearly 50,000 square feet, the distribution center will soon add another Fortune 500 company to the Columbus area.
When someone is taking the time to invest in Columbus, they're adding local jobs to the economy.
The land is owned by Loop City Power District. The utility finalized the sale of the land earlier this month.
We're super excited to have a company of the caliber of Amazon come into our community. I think it's a real tribute to our community.
Typically, for money that gets spent online outside your community generally retains about a penny for every dollar spent.
The distribution center is expected to add 50 new jobs to Columbus residents, all while trucks will be constantly moving in and out.
We look forward to partnering with Amazon as a member to help continue to recruit and retain people here in Columbus.
This comes as thousands of Amazon workers across the country began the largest strike against Amazon in company history on Thursday. The Teamsters are calling for not only higher pay, but safer working conditions. Although tensions are high at facilities nationwide, many look at the addition in Columbus as a positive move.
Columbus is that regional hub, that we are the growing community that companies not only in Columbus but outside of Columbus, outside Nebraska, recognize and see worthy of an investment that will be here for the test of time.
In Columbus, Andrew Pfeiffer, News Channel Nebraska.
Cities are often remembered for their downtowns. One of the more unique cases lies in Central City at the intersection of Highways 30 and 14. Well, the Nebraska Department of Transportation held a meeting this week to hear from Central City residents about potential changes to their 5-point intersection. NDOT says it wants to add a viaduct over the nearby railroad track because the trains, which can run 6 and 10 per hour, back up traffic trying to head north or south on Highway 14.
I am in support of it. I do have concerns because I am likely to lose a little bit of my yard. However, I do feel like the viaduct is very important for our town, as I worked here as a medical professional for many years, and I did see medical emergencies get trapped on the north side of town, and it didn't end well.
It could affect my business and so many others, whether it's the boutique that's also on the main street or the hardware store or even our restaurants. It could definitely stop people from stopping in our community and having their business here.
The biggest challenge is going to be just traffic downtown. A lot of traffic on Highway 14, Highway 30. At times we're going to have to close sections of Highway 14 or sections of 30 and detour some traffic.
The project would cost an estimated $35 million. Construction wouldn't begin until 2029, or rather until 2027, estimated to be completed by 2029. And this coming year, a southeast Nebraska county will be able to address some bridge replacement projects thanks to a state program the county's had past success with. Doug Kennedy has more.
Nebraska Department of Transportation officials recently announced that 2 bridges located in western and northern Gage County will be eligible for assistance under the Nebraska Bridge Match program.
There was some change up on the program, and now this last go-round, the rules have changed a little bit, so you're allowed up to $500,000 or 55%, or 55% up to $500,000. On 2 boxes, we pretty much utilize that entire amount. So This worked out really well.
One of the 2 old bridges to be replaced this coming year with concrete box culverts is located on West Chestnut Road in far western Gage County, just east of DeWitt. 2 fatality accidents have happened at that bridge in recent years. It has an 18-foot wide deck over a deep channel. The second project is on South 82nd Road near Cortland, just over a mile south of Nebraska Highway 41. Chestnut and South 82nd carry significant traffic. Under the Bridge Match program, Gage County Board Chairman Eric Tiemann said there is state funding assistance of up to 55%, originally capped at $250,000 for projects that are bundled together. That type of price break for the county enables such work to go forward.
So instead of the county coming up with $1 million, we're basically going to be in that $500,000 range. Some of that perhaps could be self-performed work also that saves a little more money, but it's all about leveraging the dollars that we have and trying to get the most bang for your buck.
Tiemann said the county has a list of bridges that are worn out, failing, load-rated, or narrow.
If you think about it, there used to be a lot less traffic on all the county roads. Your big grain trucks were what people called a farm truck, a 2-ton truck, 2.5-ton truck with a single axle. Maybe somebody gets a tandem and they're really uptown. Now we have semis, 7-axle semis running all over the place, and they need to get to market from the farm. Well, the farms no longer have 7,000 bushel bins. We have small commercial operations on each farm place anymore. So you're increasing the amount of commodity you produce, you're increasing the storage on the farm, and then you're also increasing the speed you can move it. So, all of our infrastructure needs to be updated.
Tiemann said the county has replaced several short-span bridges with metal culverts, but with the more expensive replacements, that's where the Bridge Match program is critical to counties. The Chestnut and South 82nd Road projects, officials are hoping to bid in the spring, with construction possible in the second half of 2025. From Beatrice, Doug Kennedy, News Channel, Nebraska.
And you can stay up to date with the very latest by following us online. Head to newschannelnebraska.com, click on the News tab there. You can also follow us on X, like us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.